or two pinkies, that's fine. Don't put up your two middle fingers, please. Thank you all, and it's a real pleasure. We are at. I just close out. I just closed out. You have to take it. I got to log back in.
Hi, everybody. I think Bruce just crashed out. So thank you. If everyone's got their pinkies up, to the 11th Asia Pro Bono Conference and the last session that we're going to go through. So give me a thumbs up. Have the sessions been good? If you've enjoyed the sessions, give me a thumbs up. I got a definite thumbs up here. They've been fantastic. Such great sessions have been going on. Fantastic presenters. Thank you. A few little IT challenges at times, but mostly really good. So this is the last session of the 11, two fingers again, the 11 Asia Pro Bono Conference. And we're going to go through some of the more traditional things that we do in our final session at the conference. And we're going to, one of the things I'll get you to do is please, everybody, use the chat. Please, throughout this entire session, this is your last chance to share your thoughts, say hi to people, wish them well, say where you're from. Please put into the chat any comments that you have about the last few days. If you want to say thank you to a presenter or somebody that you met online, please do. And with that, I'm going to go back to Bruce.
Okay, so what we're going to do in this session is we're going to do something that that is a real tradition and something very important related to this conference. And we're talking about the institutionalization. And let's do this one more time. We talked about growing pro bono. Everybody, let's see growing pro bono with your fingers. Beautiful. And in the last session, I had the honor to be part of a session that we have been doing a number of times, which is the reporting of pro bono. And we had Juanita from Trust Law and John Corker, formerly with the Australian Pro Bono Center. And we had a beautiful session on reporting. What report, what you report, who reports, why we report it. And we really can say, everybody, one more time, let's go back 10 years. Let's do this. Let's go back. Let's see it. We're going back 10 years. 10 years. Put up 10 for 10 fingers. We go back 10 years. Okay. And then everybody point here now to where we are now. We have seen such a growth in pro bono and a real institutionalization. And part of that, and a way we've done that for many years, is we have had people at each conference make what we call the Pro Bono Pledges. The Pro Bono Pledges. And I will tell you that if we were all together, we would be taking the pro bono confetti and rain, and we would, as you were making your pledges, you'd be coming up and writing it on the walls, and we would be covering you with our pro bono rain that actually, but we can't do that here today. However, what we really would like you to do now is we're going to put up the pledges. These are voluntary pledges. We promise if you don't do them, we're not going to come, we're not going to beat you up next year. But we really hope that these pledges will inspire you to do more pro bono, to think about the type of pro bono now, that buffet. We talked about the food buffet on day one, and to really inspire you. So next year when we gather, you're able to kind of report on this. And as you register for the conference, we look at you saying, you know, if you've done this. Again, they're not mandatory and the reporting isn't mandatory, but it really helps all of us to grow that. So what we're going to do now is we're going to put up the pledges and we're going to ask, everybody okay? Everybody good? Can we get a thumbs up? Good. Everybody can do this. This is an easy poll. This is an easy pledge poll. So what I'm going to ask the Secretariat to do is to put it up. If you're Lao, they have a separate writing for it. Make it easy. I think it's 6 questions. You can answer yes, no, or unsure. And these are pledges of the type of pro bono we're hoping you're going to do for this next year. Okay? So everybody, let's count down from 10 to 1. We're going to count down from 10 to 1, and then we're going to do the pledges. Okay, everybody? 10. Let me hear. Everybody take yourself off mute. Off mute. Oh, no, not in this room. Not in. If you're in this room, don't take yourself off mute. If you're not in this room, take yourself off mute. Okay. You ready? Okay. Let's count down from 10 to 1, and then we're going to do the traditional pledges. Ready? Let me hear it. 10,
10,
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pledges of Secretariat, and everybody take about 5 minutes to do these pledges, okay? And remember, this is your pledge for this next year, between now and next year's conference. Go through it. We're going to give you about 5 minutes. They don't take much. And we promise we won't hunt you down if you don't do them, but we would really like you to be doing them.
For me to do pro bono, 50, 75, 100 plus. Oh, assist with helping in organizing with the Asia Pro Bono Conference. Asia Pro. We're all unsure. Lobby bar associations, governments, and other institutions. Sure.
And if I could just ask, okay, thank you. Great, everybody. All right. So we have 172 people currently online, and already we have 57 people doing it. I really want to get up to, let's see how many people we can get to do this. We're at 62 of 63. We have 172 people, and we want to get as many of you as possible close to that. 100. We have 173 people now, and we're at 75 people reporting and making pledges. Remember, these are not reporting. These are promises. These are promises. We have 80, 90, 91. I feel we're going to do an auction. 90, 94 people of ones. Let's keep going. 96, 90, 99. Oh my gosh. Keep going. 100. We've gone past 100. More than 100 people making pledges. 101, 100, 105. We're up to 107. We got about 2 more minutes. 2 more minutes. Let's get those pledges in. 2 more minutes. Sung the tea. 110. We're at 112. 114. Great. We got about 1:45 seconds. Keep going. We're at 115, 115. Oh my God, 118. We're over 80% of you making pledges. Fantastic. 121. Some people can't see the questions. Some of the Myanmar group are not able to see the questions. Can we explain to them how to see the questions? We're at 121. Some of the Myanmar group are not able to see the questions. We're at 121. We got about a minute left. 121. Okay, 1 minute to go, 1 minute to go. Can we get more than 121 people? More than 100? We have 181 people. We're at 80% making pledges, 80%. And this is fantastic. 80% people making pledges is fantastic. We're at 123 now. We're at 81%. Okay, we've got 30 seconds to go, 30 seconds to go. And some people are not able to see it. Okay, we've got 10 seconds. 5, 4, let's hear it. 3, 2, 1. Okay, let's give him 10 more seconds. 10 more seconds. I have the power. Okay. All right. Now, everybody, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, now we have to close the poll. Now we have to close the poll. And can we publish the poll? Let's publish the poll. Okay, so now let's look at that poll. We have 103 people saying, 103 people saying that they are committing to put some sort of pro bono policy in their office. That's fantastic. Some people are not sure, about 25% people are not sure. That's okay. And one person doesn't, it's okay if you're not able to. Great. So 80% of you, 80% said you're going to implement some sort of pro bono policy. The second one, we've got 100 people, 78% of the people said you're going to get 2 more people. We're growing it. Everybody, let's do it. We're growing it. For next year, you're going to get 2 more people to grow pro bono. Wendy, you want to take us through some of the other parts?
Okay, number 3, we have another 80%, 82% said that they will ensure that they teach pro bono in their classes or in their trainings that they do. That's huge. Ooh, some claps, some reactions. So we can all applaud this. Yay, thank you. Number 4, commit to do pro bono hours, 50, 75, or 100 plus. And we have a massive 67% of you said, yes, you're going to do that. That's absolutely awesome. Okay, moving down. Number 5, assist with helping to organize the next Asia Pro Bono conference. I can see that the Filipinos all said yes. Secretly, I can see that. We have 83%. We will be contacting you. Don't worry. Okay, Bruce, back to you.
And then we have lobby, either your bar association. We talked about bar association, your government or other institutions, your offices, your universities or other, to actually support and promote pro bono. And we had 84%, 109 people, 109 people. Some of you are not sure. We understand. A couple of you, no, that's okay. You know, but I think if we have over 84% of you, and if even some of you do these pledges, and we believe we should get at least 75%, we're going to just keep growing this. And next year, at next year's conference, it's going to be that much bigger and really show the true nature of institutionalization. So everybody, let's give ourselves a round of applause here. We want you to think about these pledges throughout the year. And this is what you're going to work towards. We talked about targets today, targets, and how important targets are. You don't have to do them, but if you have goals, you're more likely to do them. So just absolutely beautiful. And like I said, if we had the pro bono rain, we'd be sprinkling it on everybody, but we're not able to do that this time. We promise to do it next. Great. All right. So now what we would like to do is from the pledges, we actually want to get some reflections. We want to get some reflections. And in doing those reflections, we want to go back to the Pro Bono Declaration that many of us were a part of in 2019 in Nepal, the Pro Bono Declaration. And we want to think about that declaration. And we're going to put up some things on the declaration. We have a hand up. We have a hand up by Sauce or Tuntun U. Is there a hand up? Is there a question? I'm not sure, maybe not. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to put up this declaration again. And what we'd like you to do is each part of the declaration, and it would be great if you want to write it in the chat or you want to say something, we can call on you to think about the parts of the declaration and something that you experienced during this last 3 days that helped to achieve this part of the declaration. So we're going to put up the sections of the declaration, and we'd ask you to take about 30 seconds or so, read the declaration. And then if some of you would like to share an experience that you had during this conference that connected into that part of the declaration. And with that, I'm going to pass this over, I think, to Wendy. Wendy's going to put up the declaration.
I was going to put it up, but I'm actually going to ask the Secretariat for their help if they're able to put up the declaration. That way, then I can see the chat much easier. Thank you.
Okay. So we go back to this declaration and let's go to the first part of the declaration, okay, to the next. Okay, great. So now, if we look at this, we as the Asia Pro Bono Consortium, okay, we recognize access to justice for all as essential to liberty, fairness, dignity, progress, development, and the rule of law, okay? Would anybody like to share something that you had experienced during this conference that connected into this idea of access to justice, fairness, dignity, progress, development, and the rule of law? Would anybody like to share into that, putting it into the chat, or actually would like to speak? And if people would like to speak, we would love them to be able to do that.
Hi, can you hear me? Great. So I'm Jonita Brito Menon from Trust Law, and I'm not logged in from my computer. That's why I'm a bodiless voice right now. But I think one of the best parts of the conference was just finding this community that exists to support pro bono, and the multiple ideas that have come up to make it possible to make access to justice accessible. I think that's the most important thing that I've been able to take back from the conference. So thank you for it.
Beautiful. And I think that talks about collective shared knowledge and experiences. And I think what Janita is saying is that was a real part of this. Wonderful. Let's go to the next part of the declaration. Let's bring it forward. Okay, so this part is about the pro bono and strengthening and expanding pro bono to achieve sustainable development goals. Was there any part of this conference? There's Vish. If Vish didn't speak up, I would be yelling at him. Let's hear from Vish.
I think we'd be doing much worse knowing you, Bruce. But yes, so we had a panel, and I think I've seen the sort of shift that has come in the region as well with the understanding of the SDGs I mean, at one point, many didn't even know the full form of what SDGs are. But this year, I think it was very heartening to see that everybody is able to relate into the SDGs. And it truly is the coming together of a global community working towards a goal that is ambitious, yet our best chance to achieve it is by doing things that we continue to do. So thank you very much.
Fantastic. Let's do this. So can we all do this? Can we do a check? Let's all do a check. All right. Let's get to the next one. Let's get to the next part of the declaration. Wait, we're going to have Yasmin. Yasmin wants to add on to the sustainable development goals. Go ahead, Yasmin. Back to number one.
So earlier on in the session on the round table, we put out a call to action to the entire global legal community to participate in the work that we're doing, which is to work on each and every SDG. So please, all of you, get in touch with us. Please also work with us, because together we can achieve something amazing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And A4ID, please, this is a call to action. They were fantastic on this. And this is a real practical way. When we get back to those pledges, this is a real way to help achieve those pledges. So please, please, please follow what Yasmin's saying and just, all right, everyone. So we have a check for one. Let's go to the second one. Number two. Okay. So this talked about having the definition and looking at the wide definition of pro bono, not a narrow, not this, but this. Was there anything in this conference that you experienced that helped to expand the definition of how you understand what pro bono is and how to practice it? Who would like to share? And Andrew, absolutely.
Since there's a photo of me, I should probably share. I thought many of the sessions, in fact, probably a majority of the sessions, had some conversation or discussion about what pro bono means and what it covers, and certainly emphasized that it should be broad scope. Thank you.
Fantastic. Okay. Wonderful, wonderful. All right. And we have in the chat, pro bono's a buffet, and everybody, there's plenty of food, right? Plenty of food. You don't like that? Fantastic. You're allergic to that? No worries. Plenty of things to eat. And if some of you are in Laos, you may experience this a little later this evening. Okay, let's go to number three. Let's put up three fingers. Number three. Okay. So this talks about broad-based responsibility and support by the government, private sector, the academic, civil society, the judiciary, and others. Was there to help support poor and underprivileged persons? Was there anything in this conference, anything that you experienced, anything that helped to get us a check on number three? Would anybody like to share? Somebody, are you there? Somebody, can you hear us?
Bruce.
Sarosh?
Yep. The pro bono service is not limited only to the lawyers or the person relating to the justices. It's the responsibility and it's a commitment that come from the every sector, and unless the pro bono is taken as a commitment and the collaborations of all the relevant institutions, including judiciary, even universities, private and academic institutions, the civil societies, for the benefit of the wider sections of poor and underprivileged and to the marginalized persons, the pro bono will not, the movement will not get success. So it should be the collaborative, coordinative efforts of every institutions, every stakeholders.
Thank you, Suraj. And knowing that, was there any part of the conference in the last 3 days that really helped to strengthen this idea? Can you give us some reflections about this conference that helped to strengthen this number?
Bruce? There were a couple of things, I think. One was that great discussion this morning about the role of the organized legal profession, whether they be law societies or bar associations, and just that great across the board sharing of what all of them are trying to do. And to some extent, I think coming off a history for them of not always being as involved and enthusiastic as they now are. I think that was number one. The second one, just looking at that particular exhibit that you had up before, there are a lot of segments that are listed there. And of course, one of the things that we focused on was the collaboration. It's not just for them individually doing their own thing, but I think we came to appreciate just how more effective they are when they collaborate.
Agreed. And I think we had a whole session, a whole plenary session with high-level people in Lao talking about collective collaborations, which was amazing. We had ambassadors and high-level person institutions supporting justice work throughout Lao that not only talked about the idea of collaborating, but gave real examples of collaborating.
And they all have different things to bring. They've all got resources that are different and perspectives that are different. They've got networks, they've got experience, all of those things, which when they all come together, create a much better outcome. I love that old African proverb that alone I can travel fast, but together we can travel far.
Really true, Michael. And I think Pajish dropped it to there. We had a whole session on large law firm collaborations, helping to institutionalize. That was an amazing session showing how large law firms have a real strategy behind this. So I think we saw this throughout. All right.
Can I jump in? I just like to jump in. I actually also would like to highlight Bert Estrada's session that he did on justice education and the Filipinos Bar Association and how they're helping to institutionalize it. So those graduating through have got this ethic and part of what they do for the rest of their life.
All right, everybody. So I think on number 3, can we do a check? Everybody, can we get a check on this? Let's see a big check. All right. And let's go to number 4. Let's go to number 4. All right, pro bono policies should be developed for incentive for pro bono work. Policies related do we have any experience, any reflections on things related to policies? I think we just had a session that I was just in a little bit earlier on our pro bono reporting. Would anybody like to give some reflections on things related to policies that actually will help to further institutionalize and strengthen pro bono?
May I, Bruce? Yes, I also was a part of the last session where we discussed about the education and the reporting of the pro bono. I think it's a real good example from Nepal. In 2019, we had a pro bono conference in Kathmandu, and it creates a huge impact to change the policy. And Bar Association now has able to draft or endorsed from its institutionalize the guideline, and it also support to institutionalize the pro bono practice in Nepal. So this is really a huge impact. And today we also discussed about it, and it is a wonderful. Thank you.
Fantastic. And I think Pavina, you've got something. Do you want to speak up on the role of the institutional of bar associations? Pa, I think you dropped that into there.
Yeah, thank you very much, Bruce. I would say this is the important part, especially the role of the bar who really pushing this forward, whether which country you're from, the bar is the main actually the main key is yourself, but also the bar help to make this happen and move it forward, supporting pro bono. That's the key. Thank you. Back to you.
All right, everybody. So I think on number 4, can we do a check? Everybody, a big check on number 4, check. All right, let's go to number 5. We are absolutely 100% on. Okay. So strategic efforts should be made to ensure pro bono systems and legal aid systems work in supporting harmony. I don't think we had anything about that in this conference. Nothing about pro bono and legal aid. No, am I right? Or did we have anything about pro bono and legal aid in this conference?
Yes, Bruce, I think I should share this. Today we had a session from Nepal where we discussed about the interconnection between the pro bono and legal aid and the UNDP from Nepal. He shared that in collaboration with the Ministry of Law and Justice and the Bar Association, they are in process to reform the Legal Aid Act and regulation and where they are planning to place the interconnection between pro bono and legal aid to ensure access to justice. Thank you. And we discussed these issues in today's session.
Fantastic. So we had something today. Somebody, can you hear us? Somebody from UNDP, did we have anything at all that you can remember about, I don't know, pro bono and legal aid? Anything you remember? I don't know. It was a long time ago. You want to share?
Yeah, Bruce, I think, this really, the area, that's interconnected, when now, for our legal systems, we also try to promote legal aid. And at the same time, I agree with other participants that we really want, to make sure that pro bono is also in place and make sure that we create the, pro bono culture. Make sure that the bar association really become a very good actors, for in this work and make sure that they promote the pro bono in Latvia. So absolutely, we discussed on the connections and this should be go hand in hand. Thanks.
And when did we discuss that, somebody? Can you tell us about some part of the conference that we actually talked about this?
Yesterday, Bruce, when we had, allowed 3:30.
Sure, we had a whole plenary, and I think UNDP was one of the main organizers of that session, and you did brilliant, right?
Yeah.
Fantastic. All right, so can we do a check on number 5, everybody? A big check? All right, let's go to number 6. Okay, so pro bono practices and systems. We're not just talking about the formal justice. We're not just talking about necessarily lawyers, but maybe persons in the or systems in the non-formal justice sector. Was there anything today or at all focusing on the non-formal justice sector? I don't know if Marlon's around or other people, but maybe they can share something about the non-formal justice sector. Was there any session today on paralegals?
Yes, Bruce, again, Firstly, we had a session where we discussed, and from Nepal, Dr. Anita shared about the paralegals and the pro bono issues. And today also, Anita Thapalia from LAG, she discussed about the pro bono services of other, through the paralegals and the recognition of them as well. Yes, first day and today we discussed. Thank you.
Fantastic. And I think Preeta?
Yes, I think today we discussed about the paralegal, how the paralegals works. I think the paralegal is to cooperate or have a network with pro bono lawyer or another organization who has supporting about the law or in the procedure cases, something like that.
Fantastic. And often paralegals working as a bridge between the non-formal justice sector and the formal justice sector. Fantastic. All right. So can we do a check for number 6, everyone? Let's get a check for number 6. And let's go to number 7. We're amazing. We're at 100%. All right. This is a tough one. I think we may have failed on this one. Okay. The responsibility to expand pro bono and the impact, doing it through the Asia Pro Bono Conference to make it an annual gathering, all of us getting together yearly, and it's all of our responsibility to make sure this happened yearly. I think we failed on this, right? None of us got together at all this year. Anybody want to talk about getting together this year and just how we were able to do this virtually?
Check.
Can you?
Check. Yeah, there we go. So Bruce, I think you proved that nothing can stop you. Not even informal gatherings can stop you. So pro bono is very real, and this one gets a triple check because we're here hybrid, in person, in the bunker, as you call it, as well as everyone online over there. So well done, yeah.
All right, I think anybody else want to add on to that? I think there was a request to do 3 checks for that. Can we do 3 checks? Check. Okay, fantastic. Chisu says, yes, nothing can stop pro bono. Fantastic. All right. And let's go to number 8. Number 8. So this is the last one that we say this declaration really is about our vision together. And, that we agree on practices and commitments, to deepen our gathering, our movement together, and to further progress in the field. I'm just going to ask everyone, have we done that in the last 3 days?
Yes, I would say definitely, especially with today's sessions, which were on pro bono reporting and talking about the infrastructure for pro bono. We've definitely covered the way this could go forward. So in my book, yes, if anyone wants to debate on that, then we have the rest of the evening.
All right, so I think, can we all do a big double, triple check on number 8? All right, so I think that's 100% we achieved on the declaration, and we look to keep doing that, combining with our pro bono pledges and going into next year. So I think we actually have to talk about next year. And with that, if we're going to stop this sharing on this screen here, fantastic. And I'm going to now do this. All right, so we have a real tradition, and the real tradition is, and I'm going to show you this. So the first year's conference, year 1 was in Laos. Does anyone remember where we said the second year was? Where was the second year of this conference? What country was the second year of this conference? You could put it in the chat. It wasn't Mexico. Okay. Okay. Right? It wasn't Italy. It was definitely in Vietnam. Okay. And in Vietnam, we started to create a tradition, and this is called the Pro Bono Flag. This is the Viva, the Long Live Pro Bono flag that we started in Vietnam. And every year, this flag has been transferred to the next place where the Pro Bono conference will be held. Of course, in the last 3 years, it's been virtually, although we have it back. But this year, we are now going to be transferring it again, and we're going to do a virtual. And does anyone know where we're transferring it to, where the flag goes for next year's conference? If you think you know where next year's conference is, I think let's put it into the chat. It's not Mexico and it's not Italy. Oh, that'd be nice, but it's okay. It is in Asia. I think we have the Philippines. Absolutely. The Philippines, the Philippines, the Philippines, the Philippines. Great. Now, this is important because the regional conference goes forward, but at the same time, something that has grown out of this conference is that many countries organize national conferences or national summits as a result of this. Mongolia has been doing it, Nepal's been doing it, the Philippines have been doing it, and other countries have been. So we encourage you, even if the conference, the regional doesn't transfer to you, your country could be doing local, regional within your country or national conferences. But this next conference will be in the Philippines. So what we want to do now is we would like to ask everybody who is not from the Philippines to please turn off your camera. And if you are from the Philippines, we're going to ask you to turn on your camera because we are passing the flag now to the Philippines. So everybody who's from the Philippines, turn your camera on, and everybody who's not from the Philippines, turn your camera off as we do and I will pass this physically to some people here. Okay. And we're going to ask others, okay? And we're going to do a virtual flag pass as I hand this over to someone in the Philippines in this room here. And if we can do the virtual transfer to those that are not with us here, that would be great. So if the secretary can do the virtual, and then we're going to hear from some of the people from the Philippines, because I think they're going to want to welcome you. About 1 more minute. I think 30 more seconds, and if not, we may hear from you, and then we're going to pass you the flag. And Saroj, if you're not from the Philippines, turn off your camera. Noon, if you're not from the Philippines. Yasmin, if you're not from the Philippines, turn off your camera. Only people from the Philippines, keep your camera on. Only people from the Philippines, keep your camera on. Here it comes.
Now I'm traveling down my own road. I found myself a shared soul with little hearts to guide and hold when they're tired and cold. Now I'm the one that must be strong and not let on when things go wrong. And when I'm falling, the smell of lemons drags me on. Everything I am, I owe to you. And I just wanted to say thank you. Everything I am, I owe to you. just wanted to say I love you.
Fantastic. And maybe now we can hear from somebody, at least one person from the Philippines who may want to give a more gracious, please come, and we're so looking forward to having you. Who would like to welcome the participants both physically and it will be virtually together. So going forward, the silver lining is we do it physically and virtually going forward. Who'd like to give a warm welcome from the Philippines to people coming?
Hi, Bruce. Can you hear me? Hello.
We can, Liz. Can you introduce yourself?
Yes. Good afternoon to all the conference participants. I am Attorney Lizel Parajas. I am the Deputy Chief of Party of the American Bar Association Rule of Law Initiative in the Philippines. And I would just like to convey the appreciation of ABA Rowley to Babsicle and the 11th APBC Secretariat and its organizers for the outstanding conference. I suppose no one will disagree when I say your patient and kind assistance, particularly in our sessions and presentations, have made this year's experience memorable and meaningful. The Philippines has been waiting to welcome you all since 2020, but we were delayed for events and reasons unforeseen and inevitable. However, we are honored and excited that soon the Asia Pro Bono Conference will finally reach our shores. We look forward to meeting, welcoming, and hosting all of you, Pro Bono advocates and practitioners in 2023 for the 12th APBC, and rest assured that we will give it our best to live up to the goals and traditions of the APBC. Maraming salamat at mabuhay tayong lahat.
And I think we're all looking at getting, is it halo halo in the Philippines plus? Yes. So, all right. We will talk about when and where we're going to be having these discussions. So it'll be about a year from now or so, maybe about a year. It will be in 2023, and we will those details soon to follow after some discussions, but we know we've been waiting. We were supposed to have 2020 vision in the Philippines, and now we're going to have 2023 vision, which is still very good. So with that, everyone, we have another one more tradition in closing this ceremony, and that is the official gong. That is the official gong section of closing this ceremony. So with that, I'm going to, Wendy is going to help to facilitate this, and one moment, because we're going to be doing this, and I think we're going to spotlight, if we can spotlight Andrew. All right, everybody, we're going to do a 10, everybody, but not in this room, Everybody else, let's get you off mute. We're going to do a countdown from 10 to 1. Okay, you're spotlighted. All right, everyone. Not in this room, but everywhere else, take yourself off mute. We're going to do a 10 to 1 countdown, and we're going to do the gong to officially declare this 11th Asia Pro Bono Conference a success. Ready? 10. Let's hear it. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Fantastic. And we look forward to next year virtually and in the Philippines, and also seeing people later this week on the virtual Access to Justice Exchange. And for those that are in Laos, I think we have a wonderful tourism gathering tonight to eat food together. I can't be more happy. We will see you all next year in the Philippines plus. Thank you all very, very.
เราพิมพ์ใหญ่กว่าแต่ว่ามันไม่ต้องพิมพ์กันหรอกมันเรื่อง
Thank you to the secretariats. You guys have done an incredible job. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you.
Yeah. One more.
And once again to Bruce and to Wendy, without whom nothing would be possible, nothing.